Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Brian's what we expected. He's long, he's fast, he's smart.
Daniels looking downfield. He wants a shot for Brian Thomas into the end zone. Touchdown.
You have to be explosive in this league. You know, it's tough enough being consistently efficient. We want to be able to have that explosive element to us.
Checks it down underneath. That's a crossing route to Christian Kirk. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Christian Kirk to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville. A crossing route to Christian Kirk. And the Jags have retaken the lead.
Repetition goes a long way, and utilizing that repetition to benefit, your football team. And that's where Trevor's really taken, I think, the next step.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey,
Demetrius Harvey,
and Dylan Denmark.
Love it, man. Is this a higher compliment that we continue to have Hacker introduce Demetrius, Dylan, or do we need to get to work on the big voice guy putting something together for us?
I need to work on the big voice guy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
At least we've got that. At least we have Hacker, the second big voice guy here on the First Coast, and we do have Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union in studio here with us on Jaguars Today. What's up, Demetrius?
Nothing much. I just got back from a little mini break. Just got back from a little bit of a sickness as well.
You and I are like the sickness twins here. I can't give you what I have. I'm hopeful you can't give me what you have.
No. I'm good to go now.
Good. So you missed OTA practice. What do you miss when you miss an OTA practice? You miss a whole lot?
Not much, honestly. You don't really miss anything. They're out there in baseball caps and kind of just running around, and you can see the speed. You can see the size of the players. You can kind of like pinpoint, they're going to be using this guy this way. But other than that, there's not really too much.
I think there's a benefit to them to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like the timing and all that. But you're right. You can't check boxes necessarily when you're running routes against air and stuff like that. I saw Jamal St. Cyr put out a little clip the other day of Trevor throwing a deep ball to Brian Thomas Jr., right? And that's what we want to see, right? He's like, here you go, right? Inject it straight in your veins kind of thing, right? Sure, we want to see that. We don't have much else right now. And then somebody quote tweets it and says something like, Trevor threads the needle to Brian Thomas. I don't know if you saw this, right? There's literally no defense. He's 40 yards down the field. And so people are like, what the hell kind of needle are you talking about? But it's like that. It doesn't, and that becomes the story then that people are debating. Are they trying to say that this is threading the needle for Trevor Lawrence? It's like, man, it's one play out of one OTA, and it was a fun play to put on video. And Jamal didn't say that. The whole thing gets kind of snowballs, because we have so little that we take any one little report or any one little clip and we try to build on that.
Yeah, no, if like, say Tank Bigsby goes for 60 yards down the field, there's no contact at all, but he looks fast, everybody's going to hold on to that. They're like, look and see how he cut there, and then they're going to, like, slow it down frame by frame. But, I mean, that's pretty much what you're asking for during this time of the year. You want to sort of see those niche plays, and you're excited about that because there's nothing else.
Which, it's great for the National Football League. The fact that you've got fandoms all over America and all over the world, really, at least that's where they're trying to get to, on the edge of their seat for any little bit of this stuff that they can get. Oh, here's Trevor throwing a pass to Gabe Davis, who's not running full speed, but he caught it. I'm like, okay, I guess that one box is checked, but it is what we have, and we love it, and we probably do overplay it at this time of year. But again, it is the fun of the National Football League that they can make this almost a 12-month endeavor and have people not get sick of it. At least a lot of people not get sick.
No, it's a 365 league now. I always say that. They have that technically that month off, kind of mid-June to late-ish May or late-ish July. But other than that, there's something every single month. I was talking to my fiance about it, and I was saying, like, the football season doesn't really end for me in February when it ends for the Jaguars or any other team. You have to do the scouting combine, and then you have to go to the league meetings in March. You have free agency, then you have the draft, then you have rookie minicamp, then you have OTAs, then you have the the mandatory minicamp, then you have training camp. So like there's really not much of a break, and that's the same case for these coaches, for the GMs, for the NFL in general. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how, you know, it's sort of been you know, maybe put under a new microscope lately. It feels like OTAs, everyone's more excited about that now. I remember growing up, I don't really remember OTAs being such a big deal, or mini camps. Training camp, yes, but like the OTAs, the little practices. So, you know, I always view it as something where that's just for the players kind of to just get reacclimated to sort of get into the playbook, to be able to break down film with the coaches, those kind of things, and that's not something that we can necessarily see.
What do you make of the proposal or idea of shifting around the offseason, like the NFLPA has thrown out there, to where you'd have a longer training camp, but you'd have more downtime at this time of the year. You'd have less obligations to be there. You know, the OTAs really came about as a way for the players to say, okay, we can be there, we can still be getting better, we can give you our time, but you can't put us in pads as many times as you're doing. You can't do that. And they made them voluntary. Well, we all know the nature of the voluntary thing, right? Everything you hear about this Players Association proposal is nobody really understands who's behind it, who wants it, right? That the players don't necessarily want to report to training camp a couple of weeks early. What do you think? Is there any legs to this?
I mean, it's really hard to see it happening. Doug commented on it. He sort of saw the greater headline and said, you know, yeah, if they want to do something to better the league, then sure. But I'm pretty sure he likes it how it is, and I'm pretty sure most coaches are the same way.
I agree.
They like how you can get them in the spring for a little bit. It's voluntary, but still most players show up, and then you kind of get rid of them for like just a little bit, and then you have training camp, and you don't want to make it too long. And he's a former player. He knows how long and grueling training camp practices are. So I can't imagine the players being down to extend that portion. The worst part of the offseason for players, or I guess the before the regular season stuff. But you know, it wouldn't make sense to me for them to actually want to do that. So I agree with you. I don't know who in the NFLPA has been advocating for this. Tom Pelissero put it out there just a few days ago, and I thought, you know, I can't imagine this is actually something that they're, you know, hard pressed to ensure. You know, now maybe when the league goes to 18 games, perhaps that will shift around some offseason schedule things just to give them more of a breather to get ready for that 18-game schedule. But other than that, I can't really see them changing it that dramatically.
Yeah, it seemed like kind of like a trial balloon of here's one of the things we're going to want when you eventually try to push us to 18 games. But we'll see. It would seem like that would be nothing for ownership to say, okay, if you want to kind of reconfigure the schedule a little bit, but you're not getting any more money out of this, sure, you know, we'll make it work if everybody has to play under the same circumstances. I'm with you. I just think coaches in general like to keep tabs on their guys. You know, like to see them around, even though I think the Jags, we hope and desire that they have a team that, look, you want to cover football, man. I don't think you want to cover the soap opera, right? No. And sometimes the soap opera infringes upon everything that we like, and that's just in general. But I think, you know, for the most part, the Jags are trying to find good character people and who love football and all that, all the cliches that go along with that. But I still think there is something like, hey, every couple weeks, kind of keep tabs on you, checking in. Are you staying in shape? Are you doing the right things? Where's your mind at? You know, and we're all, instead of just having that break of months and let's get back and we'll probably have as much time on the field together. I just think there is something to kind of stretching it out a little bit that benefits, at least would be seen as a benefit from the coaching side of things. Now, that's one of the many things we can talk about today with Demetrius Harvey, who covers your team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, very adeptly for the Florida Times-Union. You know that by now. You can find Demetrius on social media at Demetrius82. And today's question of the day, this is my favorite part of having Demetrius in studio. I don't have to think of anything, Dylan. I just throw it out there. What do you want to ask Demetrius Harvey?
Anything under the sun.
Anything under the sun. If it has to do with the Jaguars, even better. But if you want to talk about his, you know, impending nuptials. By the way, do you have a date? You have a firm date on that?
Yeah, May 24th next year. So,
all right, so like a year out.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you had the May 24th date locked in?
Since like January maybe.
Okay, so you're pretty settled.
I got engaged in December 15th, so few weeks after that, we nailed down the date.
Yeah, pretty good time of year. You understand. Maybe you miss an OTA or a week of OTA. I think you'll live, right?
Maybe.
I think we'll all survive that. But what do you got on your mind when it comes to the Jags? I sit here with Tony practically every day. We give you our opinion on things. Demetrius is a frequent guest of ours, but we don't often have him in studio for a full 2 hours. So we'll dig into anything reasonable on the Jacksonville Jaguar front. If you want to do it on the phone lines, the All-Pro Roofing phone lines, pick up the phone and dial 641-1010. You can do it on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at that same number, 904-641-1010. Hit us up on X or Twitter at MD_1010XL, at Demetrius82, or at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Pockets, big milestone. The flight is booked, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir.
How about this, Demetrius? First ever flight for young Dylan Denmark.
That is crazy. How old are you, Dylan?
26.
26. I mean, I could see it. It's just it
How
blows
old were
my
you
mind.
the first time you got on a plane?
I'm probably 3, I guess.
3?
'Cause,
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Japan because my dad was in the military. So
okay.
We've flown a bunch when I was growing up. But yeah, that's crazy to me.
Are you? Do you have citizenship? Dual citizenship?
No. So according to my mom, I wasn't in the hospital long enough. If I had stayed in that hospital for another few days, apparently I could have gotten dual citizenship. I don't know how true that is. That's just what my mom said.
I'm not trying to force you to Tokyo here. I was curious because
it would be cool though.
As a legacy, if your grandfather or grandmother, I believe, is born in Ireland, you can automatically just apply and get citizenship. My father was born there, so I'm like, even
might as well.
closer, right? And I just kind of. I'm not looking to leave. I think it would be cool to be a citizen of the United States and Ireland and have an Irish passport.
You can stay there longer than the.
Right, I could do whatever, and I do have family over there. But anyway, it just that's an interesting little nugget. So if you want to delve into Demetrius' personal life, I can't guarantee you he'll want to go too deep into it. I don't blame him. But let's keep it on the Jaguar front, and we'll do that today on a number of things. We've already had a lot of questions submitted as we put it out there today. The bat signal for Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. So we're locked and loaded, ready to go. We'll reflect on what Doug Peterson and Press Taylor had to say a little bit this week. Team building for the Jags, expectations for Trevor Lawrence. Have they done enough on the offensive line? Dylan, has anyone asked that question? Have they done enough work on the offensive line?
We haven't asked it yet. Not yet.
Has that not been asked? Shame on us for not asking that question, right? Because that seems like one that probably needs to be answered at some point. We'll let Demetrius weigh in on that as well. And I fear the answer may be, we'll find out, because that may be the only way we're going to know. But all that and more coming your way. This is Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios. Buckle up your chin strap.
Blitz! You gotta blitz them!
1010XL.
You blitz all night!
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
We are gonna blitz like Dick Butkus.
Discover luxury on your terms at Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville. Drive away today in style.
Boasting North Florida's largest selection of Cadillacs, we have your dream car waiting.
Experience the future with Cadillac Lyriq, redefining luxury electric vehicles at the starting price of $44,988.
With over 50 to choose from, and this exclusive offer, the luxury of a Cadillac is more attainable than ever.
And rest assured, every Cadillac is backed by our dedication to outstanding customer service.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, plus tax tag title $899 admin fee and resistor.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
I'm Charlie P., and I lost 50 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. Two of my doctors, my general practitioner and my gastroenterologist, both sat me down and had a real heart-to-heart with me that I was not headed in the right direction and said that I need to lose weight. So that's why I thought, now it's time to talk to Awaken 180, because they're going to be the people that are going to be able to help me. And ultimately, my doctor was able to eliminate my diabetic medicine. So I'm off my diabetic medicine, and I'm on such a small dosage of my blood pressure medicine that probably the next time I see him, I'll be able to remove that completely as well.
Thanks, Charlie. This is Mike Dempsey. Whether your goal with Awaken 180 is to eliminate medications, improve energy, or increase confidence, I know you'll achieve it with the solution for weight loss. Do what Charlie did, what Matt Hayes, Hacker, and I did. Make the call to Awaken 180 at 844-346-1800 or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Did you know a metal roof from Prime Roofing has the highest wind and impact ratings available? If you want a stronger roof, think metal. Think Prime Roofing. Learn more at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Time for a spring septic clean? For just $525, Duck Duck Rooter will pump out your septic tank, clean your outlet filter, plus send a plumber to your home to provide drain cleaning to your main sewer line. 904-862-6769. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Nothing came easy, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
It's blue-collar line of scrimmage football. I'm Tom McManus, and I join Jaguars Today Fridays from 10 to noon.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Open early and open late. Dailies is always there, making things easy for you to cruise in and cruise out. So hit Dailies Cold Case the next time you're craving a cold one. Bud Light by the case, plus plenty of singles to choose from. Corona, to the king of beers, to Stella or a Natty. They're all cold at Dailies.
Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Hey guys, this is David Garrard, and I want to tell you about Clearwater Irrigation. They put my new sprinkler system in my new home at Jack's Beach, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, hey, John.
What's up, Dave? You know what this means. You're going to have to sing.
Man, I can't sing.
Then you'll fit right in, buddy. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. Hit it, Dave.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Moms and dads looking for some serious summer fun for your kids? Then check out I-9 Sports Flag Football Tournament Series. It'll run through June and July, and you can put a team together and join in on the action. Ages 4 to 14. Go to i9sports.com for all the details. It's happening at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows at their brand new turf facility. If you've got a youth flag football team or want to put one together, get ready for the I-9 Sports Flag Football Tournament Series this summer. Check it out at i9sports.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I've got some exciting news. A second location of Leonard Truck Accessories is coming to Beach Boulevard. Whether it's truck accessories, trailers, or on-site uplifts, they've got you covered with all your favorite brands. All those accessories to make your truck look and perform better than ever. From Real Truck to UWS, Weather Guard, carry-on trailers, and much, much more. Circle your calendar for Friday, June 28th from 2 to 4 p.m. because we're throwing a party and you're invited. Tons of prizes to win, including a brand new loaded golf cart. That's Leonard Truck Accessories. Your truck, your style.
Are you ready to help lock down the bank in 2024? Don't miss a single moment when quarterback Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars take on some of the biggest names in the NFL. Become a season ticket member now to get access to exclusive experiences, events, and player appearances all season long. Lock in your seats for 2024 now by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at Everbank Stadium.
American Electrical, Northeast Florida's highest-rated electricians, is hiring, and they're looking for people to train for careers. It's not just job training. They're giving you a license that no one can take away from you, training you for jobs that are always in demand and will offer you a peace of mind financially and for the future. Once you know a trade, you'll always be employable. All the details are at american-electrical.com, and with their American Electrical Academy, if you're selected, you'll learn the electrical trade absolutely free of charge. American Electrical Contractors, powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union is with us today in studio on Jaguars Today, so let's take advantage. My man Cristiano pointing out to me that story about Tariq Cohen signing that deal with the Jets. It was such, I mean, if you want to read like a heart-wrenching story about a guy who's had just bad luck with injuries and health, Tariq Cohen fits that bill. Seems like a good guy. I hope he does well, except when they play the Jags later on this year. But it's going to be fascinating, I think, Demetrius. He is a guy that the Jets are looking at to bring in because he's got extensive return experience, right? The Jags draft Keelan Robinson in the 5th round primarily with that in mind, right? Even after signing All-Pro returner Devin Duvernay. So I don't know if we know exactly how this is all going to work out, how it's going to play out. Do you think the Jags, like right now, I think Heath Farwell's got a plan, or does he want to run through a bunch of different scenarios this offseason? I mean, where do you think special teams coordinators are on this switch?
I think it's the latter, and it's mostly because none of these guys know how each other are going to run it. It's completely brand new. It's something that we haven't seen in the league in a very long time. Something that's actually completely brand new, and I really think it's interesting that in terms of the Jags signing Devin Duvernay, I think we all kind of viewed it as, okay, Jamal Agnew is going to be replaced. But then when they go ahead and draft Keelan Robinson, you can really tell that they're actually putting a huge emphasis on this new return game. So I think they think that this could be a huge advantage. They think that this could be something that could change the game potentially for them in their favor.
I don't know what the number is, but it's going to be 3 to 5, or maybe it's going to be more. That there are going to be certain teams that figure this out, and particularly early in the season, they're going to have other teams head spinning. I really believe that. And I hope the Jags are one of those teams, or at least I hope they're not a team that just can't figure it out, like on the coverage end of it,
right.
Because the Jets were talking about, hey, return guys are going to get like 100 touches now a year. May not all be the one guy if you've got 2 guys back there, but it's become more an area of emphasis. And you saw it wasn't just Robinson. There were a number of picks in that 5th, 6th, 7th round range, I guess, that and due in part to what was perceived to be a weak draft, but
Sure.
it enabled teams to take chances on, primarily special teamers more aggressively than they might have in the past.
Yeah, and it also goes to why, or another reason why the Jaguars might have taken Cam Little in the 6th round, because, he's a kicker that might not have the strongest leg, although he can, kick those long ones, but he's accurate. And that's the biggest thing in this new kickoff rule. They want to be able to put the ball in specific areas because you have to drop it in between that, the 0 and the 20. So, you're going to want to put it in a very specific area, and I think that is a part of why Cam Little is here. So now you're kind of looking at different kinds of kickers. You're looking at different kinds of returners. You're looking at different types of special teams players. I think that's going to be the biggest key is what kind of players do they need? Are they going to go bigger? Is it going to be linebackers up front? I think Trent Baalke sort of alluded to something like that. You're not going to necessarily see a Tim Jones on every single special teams play, for example. I don't know if he will be or won't, but you're not going to see those smaller types of players, cornerbacks, wide receivers, things like that. You might see bigger guys, because they can wedge and they can block and they're right there. So yeah, I think this is going to be really interesting to see how it breaks down. It's going to have ramifications on the roster, I think.
Every time you mention a name, it brings to mind like 3 more questions I want to ask you. So we're going to get to all these, but I got Dylan. This is a very important one. Is Demetrius wearing a teal shirt today? What would you say?
I'm looking through the live stream.
It shows up really teal on YouTube, I think. I think he looks like
it has to do with the lighting, too.
Right. Well, you do have the lighting up there, but what would you say? Is that tealish or teal adjacent? Hard to say. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it comes off.
It's not teal in person, but it is.
No, I think it comes off pretty teal though on the YouTube chat, so that's appreciated for the folks out there watching you right there. And as you did that, it looked like you were flexing as you were just kind of like popping your collar there a little bit. All right, kickers. Jags bring back Riley Patterson, which was interesting because a year ago, he didn't have the leg they were looking for, I guess, and now as we just mentioned, the leg is not as big, and then Cam Little comes in, and he's a draft pick, so you would assume that he has got the greatest opportunity to win that job because of the investment, but let's not overlook the reason why, because they decided to move on from Brandon McManus, right? So that decision, Doug Peterson on Tuesday, I guess it was, got up there and said, hey, look, this off the field, this issue that allegedly happened on the team flight to London was not anything I knew about, was not anything that went into the decision-making process. It's not like they cut McManus. He had 1 year, and teams all the time opt not to bring a guy back after his contract expires. But you weren't on that flight, right? So I'm not asking you what went down, right? But what do you make of the story and the accusations?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's not something that you obviously want to see at all. It's, it speaks towards your thing. Soap operas, you don't really want to cover them. And it's just yet another example of something that the Jaguars have, brought upon themselves. Either, if it is true or if it's not, even still, it's something that they're gonna have to deal with. I don't really make too much of it right now because we don't know all of the facts, all of the details. Brandon McManus hasn't really come out and said anything. His attorney has nothing groundbreaking there.
Shocking that he denied it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm waiting for the first person to be accused of anything to go,
I did it.
Yeah, you got me. I'll do better.
Yeah, so there's not too much to go off of. And I don't know too much of the dynamics of these flights. It could be that they were just sitting there and that's a normal flight and they didn't have any alcohol or whatever, or it could be a party. You've seen different clips of players on these planes. They're having a lot of fun. Is there alcohol involved? Who knows? And so that's sort of that situation where it's just going to take an internal investigation, I'm assuming, from the NFL and from the Jaguars and things of that nature. It's probably not something that's going to be played out. But again, it's another mark on the team in the sense of you have another lawsuit coming against you. The Josh Lambo lawsuit was refiled in November, I believe. So that's still ongoing. And then obviously the embezzlement stuff. So there's just a lot going on that's a distraction. But to me, in terms of football, that had nothing to do with why Brandon McManus wasn't brought back. The guy just was not accurate down the stretch, and that was one of the major reasons why they failed, Cincinnati game in particular.
If he makes that kick against Cincinnati, right, and they win 10 and they win the division, is he still, or do they try to bring him back?
I think that there's a much higher chance of him being on the roster.
You can't know for sure, but you think there's a pretty decent chance that would have been the case.
I think there's a pretty decent chance, and you could kind of see it. This is me reading into Doug Peterson a little bit too much, but when he missed that kick, and ever since then, every time we ask about Brandon McManus, it was very much he needs to make his kicks.
Right.
And that's not just like, oh, yeah, obviously. It's like, hey, he needs to make his kicks. I'm talking to you, Brandon. So
this is what you're getting paid for. It's tough because the margin for error, man, I mean, you almost have to be perfect as a kicker in today's NFL. The technique has gotten so much better. Guys are, the leg strength and the training. It must be something because guys are hitting, routinely hitting 60-yarders. At least when I was coming up, man, if anyone even tried a 60-yarder, it was the end of the first half kind of thing. At the end of the game, more teams would throw a Hail Mary but occasionally you'd let a big leg kicker out there. And even in the, over 55 was pretty rare. Now, it seems like you got a bunch of guys who can do it. Have you had a chance in the time since the draft? Have you seen Cam Little go through any kicking drills out there?
So the only thing I saw, and this was rookie minicamp, was him doing kickoffs. And so he would kick it only, just several yards down the field. It wasn't anything major. Most of the time they would use the little machine to actually get the ball there. So there hasn't been too much for me. I don't know what they did Tuesday, if they did a kicking period, but they didn't do any kicking the week before. I think Logan Cook was out that day anyway. So I'm not sure exactly what Cam Little looks like in terms of actually making field goals. I'm sure we'll find out maybe next week.
Because you hear, like, some of the scouting reports are like, man, it's the short-range accuracy, which is really the calling card for him. But if other people say, hey, look, we've seen him out there, he's got the leg to kick 60-yarders as well. You don't have to kick, even if you've got the leg, it's not like the Jags were calling on Brandon McManus to routinely trot out there and kick 58-plus yard field goals. So it's not going to happen all that often, but now the emphasis is definitely more with the penalizing of the kickoffs going in the end zone. Obviously, accuracy is the number one requirement to be a successful kicker in the National Football League. If you want to get in, 641-1010, just bouncing around a bunch of different subjects here with Demetrius Harvey on the Jacksonville Jaguars front. So let's circle back here for a moment because we're talking about the stadium. Ed tweeted in this morning, do you have any insight from the folks at the TU about the folks who cover the political aspect, who cover the city council? Like, do you have any sense of where the lean might be? I know 10 out of 19 have to vote yes for this to pass, and the earliest that could happen, I believe, is June 25th, so just over a month or under a month from now. what's the sense you get on the political leanings of the council at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the schedule goes, I believe they're going to reconvene in June 5th, something like that, with a different proposal, or not different, but a revised proposal, an updated one, and so they're going to have to flesh that out. And from what I know, and from what I've talked to with Hannah and Dave and everybody who works at the TU, it feels as though this is something that's going to pass, and that's always been the feeling that I've gotten, the sense that I've gotten since they actually came out with the official proposal just a few weeks ago. And so nothing's changed on that front from as far as I'm concerned. To get 10 out of 19, that doesn't seem too much of a hurdle. This isn't the same thing like in the Lot J debacle where, they kind of rushed the plan. It was clearly not a great plan for the city. It was kind of not fleshed out at all. This is completely fleshed out. It's been worked on aggressively for, over a couple of years now, even past, before with Mayor Curry. So, it's a situation where I feel like this has been deliberated enough to where I think it's going to pass.
I hope you're right. I think you're right, but that's more probably wish casting from my end as anything. I don't have any personal insight into the city council's thinking, but for me, the lack of acrimony between the mayor's office and the team, the fact that they're like almost like a united one team in everything they're doing in trying to get these steps done so far, as long as that isn't shaken, like you said, there may be some revisions, right? As long as that doesn't raise too significant an eyebrow on one side or the other from those two groups, I think as long as they have that united front, I'm confident in its passing. I have no say in the outcome. Obviously I'm biased. I assume you'd be very happy to cover a team in a brand new facility, or
Absolutely.
basically a brand new facility. So we're biased, right? We get that. And I'm sure that we don't speak for everyone out there in the city of Jacksonville, but I would imagine the vast majority of this listening audience is on board team renovation as well. All right, we'll come back. We'll get some on-field stuff and away from the kicking game with Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. What are reasonable expectations for Trevor Lawrence? What about Brian Thomas Jr. as a rookie? Have they done enough on the offensive line? We need answers now, and Demetrius Harvey will do his best to provide them. If you want to get on board, 641-1010 on the All-Pro Roofing phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
Jaguars Today.
From the JOI Studios at 1010XL.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute.
Where the pros go. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
I'm not here to do whatever this is. What is this?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
What is this? Come on, man. This is entertainment.
The Drill.
You'll get it.
Mornings on 1010XL.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Friday on The Frangie Show. Tune in for the House Call segment brought to you by Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Rehab. Join the discussion as a JOI expert tells you about total knee replacements. JOI, where the pros go.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
1010XL's running game takes a giant step forward.
Well, Fred Taylor is the whole package.
Fred Taylor joins Dan and Jeff on the drill. Monday morning running back with Fred Taylor is fueled by Epstein and Robbins and B&B Fuel and Lubricants.
Let's go! And happy Halloween in June. Come cheer your Jacksonville Sharks on to victory as they fight against the Arizona Rattlers this Saturday, June 1st, 7 o'clock at the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena. With tickets as low as $15, you're not going to find any Saturdays with more family affordable fun. It's for everyone. Dig out your best costumes for Halloween night. It's always one of the faves. Whoever has the best costume will go home with a prize. Venture into the Scare Zone, featuring 13th Floor Haunted House. And join us postgame on the field for an autograph session. Don't miss the game. This Saturday, June 1st, it's Halloween in June at the Veterans Memorial Arena. Be a part of indoor football fun and exciting, non-stop action. For tickets as low as $15, call 904-621-0700. Get ready for Fright Night. Let's go.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Zerorez. Zero Res.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Pockets, I'm told by the folks on Google, we're never wrong, that if you are my age, double nickels, and you have an excellent resting heart rate, that heart rate will fall in a 58 to 63 beats per minute range. Okay, that would be excellent, considered to be excellent at my age. Your boys at the doctor yesterday, got the blood pressure, got all the things. 55. Guy looked at me. He's like, you exercise a lot? Like, I know it doesn't look like it, buddy. All right. But yes, I do. I walk a lot. A lot. So, yeah, I'm like chilling, man. But I'm telling you, Demetrius, it's like I like being a man of leisure, right? But there's a limit to it. We have such beautiful weather. It's sunshiny outside, man. I just, I just got to make sure there are enough bathroom facilities around the neighborhood right now to take that walk. So we'll see. But I was pleased by that. Overall health in good shape, despite the kidney stone situation. All right, we've got the phone lines open for you with Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union, one of the crack reporters on the Jaguar beat, no doubt. Outside of the 1010XL contingent themselves, put Demetrius and John Shipley in a tie for first as my favorite guys out there. Kyrie is in Virginia and a frequent caller to this program. Kyrie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How you guys doing this morning?
Good. We're well, man. What's up?
Great. I have a question for both guys, if you could answer. What is one thing you think the Jaguars will look back as far as this offseason and say, man, I'm glad we did this? And what is one thing that you think they will look back and say, man, we should have done this? This is going to bite us in the butt.
Okay. I think that's a great question. Demetrius, first off, what is one thing you think they'll look back and it'll be a no-doubt smart move that they made?
I mean, it's going to be easy, but Eric Armstead, signing him, I think that they're going to look back and think that that was a great move. I'm not going to go as far as to say he's going to be Calais Campbell, but he has the potential to be that type of leader, that type of person. A lot of that profile. Right, exactly. And
even the body type, the versatility,
the length,
a lot of the maturity, the extra coach on the field aspect to him. Now, got to be a good player. And he is that. So you got all that. So I would have said Mitch Morse for that one because I think it was such an area that everyone agreed needed some kind of an upgrade. But obviously, Armstead's got. My first thought was Brian Thomas Jr. because I do think he's going to pan out. Yep. But I feel like a year from now we'll look back next offseason and say, yeah, that had to have Mitch Morse on that line. All right. So what is one? That, and this is a tough one to know, right? Yeah. Because you don't know what's going to go wrong. But what is an area that for you personally you think they should have paid a little bit more attention to even now?
It's so tough. I was just thinking about it as we were going. The cornerback position is one that I've keyed in on kind of and looked at and said, did they do enough? Have they done enough? Could they have done anything more than they have? Signing Ronald Darby, I felt like that was a solid stopgap move. But at that point, you kind of wanted to have somebody who could come in immediately, be that guy after you cut Darius Williams. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, drafting Jarrian Jones is a good call. DeAndre Prince in the 5th round is solid. But, I think that maybe that could be the position where you're looking at it similar to how they were last year at the pass rusher position, which is another one you could say. Maybe they could have done a little bit more.
We don't know. Maybe Trevis Gibson fits perfectly in this defense, and he gives you a half dozen sacks off the bench, which is nearly double what you've had from your third pass rusher the last couple of years. And that would be great. But we don't know, right? Maybe they got tons in the middle with Armstead and Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, all these guys that we're going to revamp the whole look of that front 4, front 7. For me, I still – until I know how it plays out, the area I'd be most concerned with is still the offensive line. I was still a Troy Fautanu guy. It didn't have to be him, but I like the idea of a versatile guy that you throw him in the pot, may the best 5 emerge, and he was one of those guys that had the versatility that you could see short-term play him inside, long-term play him outside, and get value out of a first-round pick. I'm not upset with the Brian Thomas pick, though, particularly the methodology to move back and add more, Mm-hmm. It's just one of those, Kyrie, that it's hard to know until you get there to look back and say, but that's probably my top area of concern in terms of I got my fingers crossed that they did do enough. Mm-hmm. So we'll see about that. Since you mentioned corner, we had a question on Twitter. I'll get back to these phone calls in a second. And it's funny, the first one comes and they all come following. Jarrian Jones. Yeah. How do you see his rookie year playing out? I bring this up. Hayes Carline mentioned this like a month ago. He thinks he can win the outside job. Right now, people say, well, Darby's not a slot guy. Yeah, okay. You go to nickel. and Jones slides inside, and Darby plays on the outside. It's not that complicated to me. But what do you, from what you've heard, what you've seen, the few glimpses in minicamps and OTA so far, what do you make of the fit for Jarrian Jones here?
Yeah, I mean, before the draft, I had him pegged as a nickel cornerback. I thought that he's a guy who can come in right away and sort of start at that nickel position. And I wasn't. I'm a little bit surprised that people want him to play outside. He did it at FSU, obviously, but it just wasn't.
He took
as
off
effective.
when they moved him inside,
right?
Yeah.
He just wasn't as effective outside, and I feel like you're kind of. I don't want to say wasting, but you're not taking advantage of all of his skill set if you do play him outside. So to me, I feel like you sort of let him learn one position and you go on from there rather than kind of having him outside and then pushing him in. I think that might be a little bit too complex for a rookie, but you do want to throw him in there. You want to be able to get some quality reps out there with him because you have Darnell Savage, you have Ronald Darby, you have guys that are sort of already pegged to be playing in those positions. So if there's a way to sort of get him on the field faster and you like him, then I can see them playing him outside. But for now, I think inside just makes sense.
Look, Ronald Darby's a really good player.